The Castle of Nevytskyi. It stands high above the valley of the Ush River, at the top of a volcanic hill Vigorlat. The fortress was fought over the struggle for the crown of Hungary between the Transylvanian princes and Austrian emperors. It also was of great importance in numerous intrigues. However, the folk tales about the castle are associated with the cruel mistress. She was called the Rascal Maiden because of her sick temper.
She was beautiful, but had no heart at all. She did not admit the state law, establish her own cruel rules, and dreamed of expanding her estates. The castle served as protection to her lands and made people obey her orders and kept them in awe. To strengthen the walls, she ordered to add milk and eggs to the cement mixture. The products were to be delivered by peasants from the neighboring villages. It was extremely difficult for the people, but they did not dare to object, because it meant for them to face a certain death. Rumors about the self-willed mistress of Nevytskyi Castle spread wide and fast, and finally even the king of Hungary learned about the Rascal Maiden. He called her to the court, but she never showed up. King Matyas decided to teach her a lesson and gather up his army to break out a war against the Nevytskyi Castle. However, when the king and his army arrived to the castle, he realized that he could not conquer the castle with an onslaught. Then he decided to play a trick. He ordered to collect oxen from all the villages around, tie bells around their necks. The soldiers were to light up torches. At night, the king's army made up so much noise, shouting and ringing loudly, that the Rascal Maiden got scared, thinking the king's army was really enormous. She decided to escape before it was too late. King Matyas ran after the maiden. When she realized that she would not escape him, she tried to win the king's heart with her beauty. She maintained her beauty by regular bathing in young female's blood. But King Matyas was not only smart and inventive, but also wise and determined. The night was lit up with a shining sword, and the maiden's head rolled off from her shoulders.
We may argue today who was to become the prototype for the legendary Rascal Maiden. According to one of the suggestions, she was from the Drugeti prince family. The Italian prince family moved here from Italy together with the king Karl Robert, an offspring of the powerful dynasty of Anjou. The Drugetis devotedly supported Karl, who had to fight the crown of Hungary when he claimed the throne. The country had no king at that time, when the last representative of the ruling dynasty of the Arpads died with no heir. The Italian king brought to Hungary the latest achievements in all the aspects. At that time, Italy was the most culturally developed country, so Hungary became an active member of the European history. The castle of Nevytskyi was a witness to this history, seeing it with its own walls. It was important strategically as it controlled the entrance to the Ush Valley, which had the trade routes from Hungary to Halicina over the Uzotsky mountain pass. In case of need, the fortress could also give shelter to the inhabitants of the neighboring villages. It could room up to a few hundred people inside the castle. It had an inner yard in the center, sized 35 by 12 meters. We can see a water well carved with stone here, and remnants of the fireplaces in 2 rooms. The castle was fortified with a range of dikes and towered walls. Once the main dike around the castle was filled with water. It is no secret anymore how they delivered the water here. to the top of the mountain that is 260 meters high. Water running from the spring on the neighboring hill went up under its own pressure via the plumbing system. That is why the water had always been fresh and clean here. This unique water pipeline is still functioning, though not on such a large scale. It supplies water to the fountain at the foot of the hill.
As the firearms and weapons developed, the fortification system of the castle was also getting more complicated. The eastern wall, as the weakest point, was fortified. To protect the castle from the south, there appeared a three-story tower linked to the inner yard with a roofed gallery, 35 meters long. The donjon tower was the core of the defense system. The tower is still the most prominent element in the castle.
Today we see the castle of Nevytskyi still the same as it has remained since 1644. Once it lost its strategical importance, it was almost forgotten. This was what saved the castle from reconstruction, and this is why the castle has preserved the appearance typical to its native time period. And the historians proudly call this castle an authentic one.